Welcome and hello. This is a video tutorial on HEC DSSVue, and in this lesson, I'm going to be discussing entering paired data manually and manually entering text data as well. All right, so over on the screen, we have the HEC DSSVue interface up, and let's begin by creating a file. So I'm going to go up to File using new version 6. And then this is the directory I want to save my file in. I'm going to call it reservoir geometry.dss. Click create. It says it's created. And over here in my directory, here's the file. All right, so the next step is we have the file loaded and no path data yet. We're going to go up to data entry, manual paired data, and here is the dialog for us to enter that data. As we saw with the time series data, we have path name parts and then the data itself. So let's go ahead and type in some data for pathway parts. I'm going to say the river is the Poudre River. The location is Halligan. Then with paired data, we have two parts for C, which is the data parameters. So we have the X independent variable and then the Y dependent variable separated by a dash here. So I'm just going to type in, paste in elevation and capacity. So I stretch that. Yeah, we can see elevation and capacity for X and Y values. D and E represent the starting date and time interval, respectively. And for this particular paired data, I'm going to leave those fields blank because this is not, that's really more suited for time series data. F, the final part of the file path, represents the additional user-defined description. I'm going to type in partial because for this first file path, I'm just going to type in data, not paste it in. This is just going to be a partial test. X units represents the elevation units. Whatever we typed in for the X variable, that's going to be feet. Y units is going to represent the Y units of the dependent variable capacity. That'll be acre feet. And then below that, we have to define the type of scale for the axes. And our options are linear, log, probability, and percent. Percent would be from 0 to 100%, probability from 0 to 1. And then log and linear don't really have a max or min, but it just kind of modifies the type of scale. So let's just go linear and linear for both. Down below here is where we actually add the data. So let me just go ahead and type in some numbers here. So again, X is my elevation in feet, volume, and then Y is going to be my capacity or volume in acre feet. I'm going to say that the base elevation of this reservoir is 1350, such that there's no capacity at that elevation. So let me just start typing in some numbers here. Okay, so I went ahead and typed in those numbers. I could plot or I could click save. I'm just going to go ahead and click save. And then I don't need to see the edit screen again. And here is my file path, which represents a partial elevation capacity curve. If I want to view what that curve looks like, I can click on the plot button up here, and it shows me here's the plot. Now I accidentally or I on purposely put the wrong data, so we can correct that. But you can see that generally speaking, the capacity increases with elevation. To edit that data, we can click the edit button or tabulate. Also, there's edit tools here, same thing. And we get this table. So let's go ahead and type in the actual number. It was supposed to be 32 acre feet. I'm going to click File and then Save. It says it's saved. And okay, we don't need to see that. And let's check out the plot, and the plot is corrected. Again, this is just a partial data for about 10 records. So let's go ahead and actually add data by importing it from Excel. So this would be the full set of data, not just what you would type in, because most likely your data is going to come from a computer file of some sort, possibly at Microsoft Excel. Data entry, and then again, manual paired data. What we can do is type in these file part names again, but another way to do this is to actually type in the path name, and then that would populate the parts, or vice versa. So let me go ahead and paste in what I want to use for the path name, and you can see how that populates. So I'm going to Control V to paste, and then just tab. And then when I hit tab, it recognized the different parts of the path name, and it pasted in those values here. The only difference is now my note for F says complete, not partial. So that will be the distinction when we see all of the file paths listed out for this reservoir geometry.dss file. Okay, so as before, the units would be feet, acre, feet, linear is fine. Over in Excel, I've got records for elevation that go up to 1500. So I'm just going to Control C, or you can right click, copy. And then over in DSSVue, I'm going to select the first entry here and then click paste. And my data is now in place. So I can plot it from here if I want, just as I expect. It looks good. Save. Okay, I'm done with editing. And here is the complete data that we just put in, and then the partial data, which was our first entry. Okay, I'm going to make one more plot. This is going to be for elevation and area. So hang with me real quick. Manual, paired data. Got a different worksheet for the area. I'm going to copy that and then paste it here. You can also right click, paste, and then your data will come in. I still need to fill out this information up here. So I'll just paste that data in. This is again complete data, but now my dependent variable is the area. So this is going to be acre, not acre feet. Elevation again will be feet, and then I'll click save, and we're good. So here's the area curve if I want to just take a quick peek at it. This is just data I made up. It just increases almost approximately linearly with the elevation of the water surface in the reservoir pool. All right, so the last part of this video is going to be about entering text data. The part F in the file path just is very short, like complete, partial, sort of a one-word note. But say, for instance, you had more to say about specific information, such as the elevation area curve. We can go up to data entry, manual text, and then we could just start typing in. Here are some notes about the Halligan elevation area data. Okay, so I can click File, Save As, and you'll be prompted with here is a dialog to basically complete the same metadata used to compose the file path. So I'm going to again paste in what I have prepared. You can fill out the individual parts if you want, but this is what I'm going with. Basically the same data for the Halligan Reservoir elevation area, except for F, it just says notes. So when I click OK, here's my data. We now have a notes layer, and I can edit those notes again by clicking the tab data. I could say, here are some more notes. Now I can just file save because I don't need to rename it or anything. And then we're good. If I want to add more notes, again, I could make more edits and so on. So that was a quick lesson about how to enter manual paired data and text data, both manually, and then in the case of the elevation capacity and elevation area data, you can paste data in from Excel.